Welcome to Ford Horizon. This is a completely new way of bringing you all the latest news, announcements, future plans and product introductions from Ford of Europe. My name's David McClelland. I'm a journalist and technology reporter, and I'm genuinely excited to be your host today through this, the first ever experience on Ford Horizon. We've got a fully virtual studio so that we can demonstrate things to you in new and very different ways. It allows us to tell you the stories behind Ford's vehicles and technologies from every possible angle. Over the next half an hour or so, we'll be joined by expert guests from around the world to bring you an in-depth look at Ford's innovative new approach to connected vehicle technology, the next generation Sync system. And you'll get a chance to ask your questions to the Ford team during our breakout sessions at the end of the show. Just a reminder, out of courtesy to your colleagues, please, everything you hear today is embargoed for publication until 10 a.m. CET on September the 4th. And I should say, this session comes to you from our virtual studio outside of Ford's own facilities. We are adhering to all the government rules on social distancing at all times, and masks are being worn in the backstage areas where the crew members are working. Right, on with the show. Now, we all know that our relationship with our car is changing, from filling up to plugging in, or simply from commuting to being constantly connected to the world around us while driving. As vehicles become more connected, the way we interact with them through touch and voice controls now more closely resembles how we use the other devices in our lives, like smartphones, tablets, or even smart home assistants. Ford is obsessed with making sure everyone can benefit from the power of connected vehicles, providing an enhanced yet intuitive driving experience with minimal distractions. To that end, Ford is confirming today that all new models introduced in Europe will now come with a Ford Pass Connect modem as standard. And this, in turn, it opens the door even wider for Ford to deliver a powerful new suite of connected services and features, particularly for electrified vehicles. Joining me to tell us more about this is our first expert today, Ford of Europe's connectivity manager, Jan Schroll. Hi, Jan, thanks for joining us.
Hi, David. It's great to be here. To demonstrate what we're talking about, here we have the all-new Ford Mustang Mach-E, the epitome of our commitment to connected vehicles. It's our first bespoke all-electric vehicle, and it's our smartest one ever. It really marks the start of a new era for us.
Now, lots of manufacturers are talking about connectivity at the moment. Some systems I find can be a bit complicated and perhaps even distracting too. So how are you at Ford making sure that our driving experience becomes simpler and not harder?
It's crucially important that connected vehicles do make our lives better and safer and more efficient driving that's also more enjoyable. So at Ford, we've taken a human-centric design approach to rethink every aspect of our new connectivity system.
So tell me what you mean by human-centric design then.
Yeah, we really started by listening to what our customers want and need, and then designed our system around those needs, making the whole experience intuitive and distraction-free to help people drive more confidently, so that every one of us can enjoy the benefits of connected vehicles, designed from the ground up to seamlessly communicate with us and with the world around us. The result is an entirely new connected experience for Ford vehicles, an ecosystem which revolves around this, the most visible and important feature of the Mustang Mach-E's interior. It's the next generation of Ford Sync technology.
Now, I'm old enough to remember when Sync first launched, and it's been around in Ford vehicles for a little while now, hasn't it?
That's absolutely true. In fact, Sync really was one of the pioneers for in-car connectivity when it was first introduced over a decade ago. And actually, interesting story, I've been part of the launch team in Europe back a decade ago.
Oh, really?
And we really continue to evolve the product ever since. This next generation version has been completely re-engineered and is twice as powerful as the previous version. So we've combined it with an enhanced version of our Ford Pass App 2, allowing you to control many vehicle features right from your smartphone.
Right, so you've mentioned the Mustang Mach-E a couple of times. We've seen it in the virtual studio here as well. So tell us a bit more about how all of this integrates to improve the driving experience and the ownership experience of Ford's exciting all-new electric car.
Well, David, in fact, it's in 4 key ways. First, the system makes the experience more personal. For the very first time, you can customize your vehicle right from your smartphone before you even pick up the keys. And with machine learning capabilities, it gets to know you better over time. can even tell you apart from other members of your household and customize each driver's experience, much like how Netflix personalizes your account to suggest movies you may like that other family members wouldn't. Second, Sync and FordPass make charging easier and more seamless than ever.
Yeah, right. So charging, there's no escaping it. Charging is going to be really important, particularly for people who are new to electric vehicle ownership.
Agree. We know that charging a vehicle will soon be as commonplace as filling up at a petrol station. And to make this even easier, we've created a clever new system to manage your charging schedule and find the best charging stations along your route, so you can rest assured you'll get where you're going. Third, as you'll also hear, next generation Sync really listens. It understands natural everyday speech better than ever for simpler voice activation in 15 European languages. So you can talk to it just like you would talk to a person. It's like having your own personal assistant in your car. Finally, your Mach-E itself keeps getting better the longer you own it. Fast over-the-air updates keep the vehicle software updated with the latest technology.
Right, so over-the-air updates, they aren't strictly new for Ford vehicles, are they? So why is it different now?
No, you're right. In the past, we had updates available for some of the modules in the car, but now we are truly announcing a bumper-to-bumper deployment of over-the-air updates, meaning updates can download for the whole vehicle in the background while you're out on the road and install in under 2 minutes in your driveway, so you'll never have to put your life on hold. And moving forward, next generation Sync will be the connectivity platform for all new Ford vehicles, with each application tuned to specific vehicles and customer use cases. And the very first place we'll get to experience it is in the heart of the Mustang Mach-E's cabin.
Thanks, Jan. Super introduction to this new system. So let's take a closer look at how all of this technology will transform our relationship with our vehicle, whether we're driving to and from work, taking a fun road trip with a family, or even relaxing at home on the sofa. Let's meet our next guest now, Ford Pass expert, Divya Sebastian. Hi Divya, welcome to the Ford Horizon studio. Tell us more about how Sync and the Ford Pass app have changed your relationship with your car.
Hi David. First and foremost, saving time is a huge priority for me. I had my first child 3 years ago, and getting out and about has been much easier because of how my Ford Pass connects to the Kuga I currently drive. Ford Pass already allows me to access a wide range of features remotely, like check my car's battery health, where it's parked, lock or unlock it remotely, or even schedule my departure time, which warms up or cools down the cabin for my drive. And cooling down my Kuga has been such an absolute bonus this summer. So it saves time, gives me valuable information, and it's so easy to use.
So that's all great, but how does all of that work with the Mustang Mach-E?
Well, with a greater level of connected systems and features in the Mustang Mach-E, we've added a powerful new dimension to this relationship between owner, vehicle, and smartphone. It starts with my favorite new feature, one we're announcing today. It's called Remote Vehicle Setup. This new feature allows you to pre-configure many of the Mach-E settings, as well as driving and charging features from the comfort of your armchair, even before you pick up your vehicle.
So this is before you've even picked up the keys for the first time. Sounds great. How does it work?
Well, it's very cool. Our customers told us they are often frustrated by having to spend time configuring a new vehicle when they first pick it up. Now, with the next generation Sync, Mach-E customers can enjoy the most seamless pre-delivery personalization experience in the industry. Remote Vehicle Setup is a quick and easy way to personalize your Mustang Mach-E before it's even in your driveway. I can demonstrate using this larger-than-life smartphone here in the studio.
Very convenient.
Imagine I'm at home and I get an email saying my new Mach-E is about to arrive at my Ford dealer. I'm invited to create my Remote Vehicle Setup profile for my Mach-E via Ford Pass account or from the owner website. I start by adding my photo or using one of the avatars for Mach-E. Then I can save my favorite place, such as my childminder, home and office. I can find and store nearby charging stations for added peace of mind. I can also preset my daily departure time, my preferred cabin comfort level, and a desired level of charge to make sure the Mach-E is ready to go when I am. That will give me a few extra minutes with my son at the breakfast table. I can even preset my favorite drive modes, active, whisper, or untamed. Sync will then customize my drive with the vehicle responsiveness settings, plus interior sound and ambient colors to match my mood. And over time, we'll add extra features like the ability to preset my favorite radio station and pair my phone automatically to skip the normal Bluetooth process. Now, when I actually collect my Mach-E, I simply push my profile and personal settings to it from my smartphone. And from the moment I first sit in it, it knows me and my preferences.
So that all sounds great, but what happens if you have several drivers in the same household that all want to use the same car?
That's not an issue, David. Remote Vehicle Setup allows you to send one profile to the Mackie when you first get it. But say we have a family with 2 other drivers. Once you have the vehicle, using Sync, each of these people can set up their own profile in addition to the primary driver. These profiles can also include the avatar or photo, as you can see. It's like having a family computer where each person has their own login and settings. In some countries, owners will also be able to use a new feature called Phone as a Key. Whenever they walk up to the Mackie, Sync will instantly recognize who's approaching through the phone, then unlock the vehicle and load the individual settings.
Well, that does sound cool.
Yes, and even if you don't have your phone charged, you can still unlock the vehicle by entering your personal passcode on the door keypad as an emergency backup. And that also loads your individual profile. In all, more than 80 different settings for the Mackie can be accessed through Sync, so you can really personalize your driving experience and profile.
So we've been hearing today already how Sync and ForPass learn more about you over time. Tell me more about how that works.
A good example is I usually call my husband on my way home from work. After Sync learns this routine, it will automatically suggest that I give him a call at that time of the day on my drive. It also memorizes my schedule, knowing when I usually leave home or work, and prepares the vehicle for my departure, like making sure the cabin's at my favorite temperature when I climb in. Also, ForPass can show me personalized tips on how I can drive more efficiently with the My Journeys feature. It analyzes my trip, shows me where I braked too suddenly or accelerated too fast or even cornered too harshly. So all of this represents a major leap in personalization of the driver experience and really is at the cutting edge of this kind of technology.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Divya. So you've personalized your vehicle, checked its charge status and cooled the cabin, all while you're still at the breakfast table. But when you're ready to leave the house, that's when Next Generation Sync really comes into its own, out on the road, especially when it comes to the journey to work. Now, one of the great things about this Ford Horizon Virtual Studio is that we can bring in guests from anywhere in the world and they can appear right beside me. He's in the US at the moment, but we're now joined virtually by Hussein Dakroob, Sync software supervisor, who's been instrumental in the development of this system. Hussein, I'm really jealous because you've had a bit of a head start on all of us. You've been living with a Mustang Mach-E for the last few months, haven't you?
Hi, Dave. Yes, I have. Part of my job has been driving the Mach-E prototypes from my home to the Ford Design Center in Dearborn, Michigan, every day for a while now. It's really helped me kind of inform the decisions we've made on Next Generation Sync, ensuring that it integrates smoothly with the driver's life.
So take us through what you actually see on the screen in the car.
Yeah, so the displays, it's 15.5-inch high definition. Customers are used to their smartphones, and as they kind of come in the vehicle, they want the same experience, right? So we gave them that. We gave them that pinch zoom and rotation and swipe. One thing they noted is they wanted a physical dial to control the volume. They didn't want to sit there and tap, 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 tap as they're driving. So we kind of brought in that physical knob. It's bonded on the screen for quick volume access. If you notice, a lot of systems today, they're kind of hierarchical and you got to dig deep into the sub-menus to reach a specific action. We kind of brought things back to the surface, the first surface, so you can easily interact. You're 1 or 2 touches away from any application that you need, any vehicle control, any setting that you want to get to. We didn't even need a home or back button. Again, everything's just 1 or 2 touches away.
I guess it's all about minimizing the time that I have to take my eyes off the road, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the Ford's human-centered design here. So with a single tap, you can view your personal profile. And this is where you can access your apps drawer and some of the suggestions that the vehicle might provide. And in fact, in Europe, you'll be able to access apps from more than 20 Sync AppLink partners. So many of our customers' favorites, such as Waze and AccuWeather, will be integrated into the system from the start. So these are kind of the brought-in applications from your device.
Tell me a bit more about how this card system works then.
Yeah, so we wanted to provide more kind of quick glance content on the screen as customers are driving. So with the car system, instead of launching an application to interact with that specific feature or function, you can actually have your navigation up and running, and you can have like your media card, you can have your Apple CarPlay as a card, and maybe you're monitoring your trip. You can have that as a card. So as you're navigating, you can easily change the track and play and pause from the card without having to launch the application.
So everything you need is right there on that big screen then, isn't it?
Yeah, so climate is always there. It's something that's important for customers as they're driving. And of course, our natural language voice system has the ability to allow customers to adjust their climate.
That's great, but what about when you're actually on your way to work? You know, we've all wrestled with in-car navigation systems before, and sometimes it feels like you're trying to operate the actual satellites the car's communicating with rather than actually just driving to the office.
Exactly. So with Sync, we knew that's a customer problem. So we redesigned our next generation system. One of the partners that we have is TomTom that provides real-time traffic data. When you enter a destination, we look at different data points, whether it's weather, traffic. We use the cloud to compute a lot of these data points. We provide off-board maps for those moments where you lose connectivity. So customers will still be able to route and navigate to a destination. The system learns your habits and provides you with granular suggestions. So what I mean by that is, for example, if it notices every day when you go to work, you stop at a specific coffee shop, the system will provide you that as a granular suggestion. It'd be like, hey, do you want us to route you there? It goes back to that notion of reducing the amount of time you need to spend with the system to find the specific action. We have customers that take advantage of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can connect wirelessly. So you can just get in the vehicle, throw your phone on the wireless charger, no need for cables. And you can interact with CarPlay or Android Auto, launch any maps, look at your messaging, or even use kind of the media apps that come with those services. It's all about giving the customer the choice, right? There's no point in limiting and enforcing something on the customer. It's up to them to choose what they prefer.
Listen, Hussein, thanks for your time. I know you're a busy man, so we'll let you get back to it.
Hey Dave, again, thank you for the discussion. Anytime you're on this side of the pond, we'll catch a ride together.
I'll hold you to that. Thanks again.
Take care.
The thing is, if you have a car like Ford's Mustang Mach-E, it can't all be about work. There has to be some time for play, and next generation Sync helps there too. I'm joined again by Jan Skoll. Now, Jan, we were chatting a few minutes ago. You're someone who loves taking the family out on a road trip. Is that something you'll be planning to do more often when you get your Mach-E?
Yes, definitely, and I'm really excited about it. I live with my wife and son right between Cologne and Bonn, so we're very well placed to take long road trips. And also, we often go away at weekends. Part of the fun itself is planning the drive. Which roads provide the best views and nicest places to stop off? That kind of thing, really. For example, we'd love to take a family vacation to Oslo. First, we have to plan the trip. And this is really when Sync and FordPass will come in handy. With the new EV Trip Planner feature, we can plan the route in detail right from our living room. I input the destination into FordPass, and it lets me choose between the fastest and shortest driving routes. It tells me when, where, and for how long we'll need to stop to charge along the way. It shows me the most convenient charging stations, which stations are operational, charging cost, and even real-time power levels and availability of charging points. Then, when we're ready to set off, I send it to the Sync navigation system and set my departure time. When I get into my Mach-E on trip day, it will be preheated, pre-charged, and preloaded with my road trip plan.
So it all goes straight from your phone to your vehicle, simple as that. Great. So now you've got your road trip all planned. You're en route to Oslo. One of the best parts about a road trip is being able to make the stop-offs along the way. It's all about the journey, isn't it? So tell me, how does next generation Sync make that easier?
Well, the system's enhanced voice recognition capabilities make the finding whatever you're looking for really seamless. The most important thing about speech and the system is that it makes use of conversational voice recognition. It understands everyday speech in 15 European languages. You can use voice commands to control entertainment features like the radio or climate control, and the phone to make calls and send texts.
But how conversational really is it though?
Actually, you can do this in the same way I'm talking to you right now. Let me show how smart it is. Just like Hussein, I love a good cup of coffee at the start of my trip. Sync makes it easy to find one. Let me show you, and I'll do it in German, of course. Hey Ford, suche ein Café in Bonn. And there you see it responds.
Mm-hmm. And there we go, Café Blau.
Yep.
You were there as well. Back on the road trip, you've arrived in Oslo, time to get out, stretch your legs, maybe walk around the harbour, I don't know. But what is the best way to find a parking space from your Mach-E?
I'm happy to say the days of endless hunting for a parking space are over. For the first time, Sync can tell me exactly which car parks have space and direct me to them. Can even give me an indication of price, helping me to avoid the costly spots in big cities. And for some locations, the likelihood of on-street parking spaces being available. And of course, if I forget where will be parked, which, let's face it, we've all done now and then in a strange town, I can see the car's location on Ford Pass using Find My Vehicle. So putting all these features together, you can see how road trips of any length become more stress-free and enjoyable.
And that's the point of all of this technology really, isn't it? To make life easier, particularly as we transition from traditional internal combustion engine power to electric power. And making that transition as seamless as possible for vehicle owners means being confident and comfortable with the charging process. So Jan, tell me how Ford is helping with that.
Really important element. At Ford, we have reimagined the whole charging experience from the driver's perspective to make it anxiety-free. With features like EV Trip Planner, this next generation Sync and Ford Pass look after you when you're on the road by providing real-time information about when and where to charge. And now we're introducing intelligent range technology, which makes knowing how far you can go and when you'll need to charge a lot more predictable. It calculates your available range based on past driving behavior, weather conditions, varying speeds and terrains, and even data from other Ford electric vehicles about particular roads to predict how much energy you'll use.
Yeah, I know that's going to be really, really useful when you're driving an EV, again, particularly as a new EV driver.
Agree, and Intelligent Range Assist is a really smart feature. The Mach-E's battery system tracks how much energy is available, while the powertrain module tracks how much energy you're using. If your range is going to be significantly impacted by any of these factors, you'll get a notification highlighting the new range estimate and explaining why it's changed too.
That's a great kind of notification to get. You've got more range. Fantastic.
Correct. I'm pretty sure eventually you need to charge. And when you do need to charge, finding places to do so is less stressful too. That's because Ford Pass enables a single point of access to the entire Ford Pass charging network, one of the largest public networks in Europe. This includes Ioniti's currently 270 and eventually 400 high-powered European charging stations, which have an average of 6 charge points at each. These can charge your Mustang Mach-E's battery to 80% in under 40 minutes. You can even pay for charging right from your Ford Pass app.
Yeah, and I think paying from an app, from a single place, that's what's going to be really, really helpful.
Totally agree. Also, when you're at home, Ford Pass' new intelligent charging feature means you don't have to spend time worrying about your vehicle's charge. Your vehicle will learn your schedule and charge up at the time of day that's the most cost efficient, while ensuring you have enough battery for the day's driving. If you're charging at another location, for example at work, you can use Ford Pass to set a different amount of charge as well. You'll even get periodic emails telling you how much energy and money you've saved.
So, with all the great features that we've been talking about today, how on earth do you keep track of them all?
Actually, I'd say they're so intuitive, you don't even need an owner's manual. But if you ever do need help with a Mach-E feature, even that's available at your fingertips. As the first Ford vehicle with an all-digital owner's manual, the Mach-E lets you quickly search and watch how-to videos on the sync screen, in the car, or in Ford Pass.
A video on the sync screen. Listen, Jan, that's great. Thank you so much indeed. So far, we've heard a lot about what next-gen sync can do right now, but what about in the future? As we look ahead, it's very clear that motoring is changing rapidly, especially with regards to electrified vehicles. The shift to EVs provides an opportunity to rethink many key aspects of our vehicles and use greater computing power and connectivity to transform them for the better, with minimal fuss for the driver. The thing is, Every bit of technology I own receives updates of some kind, but it's not always convenient, and occasionally those updates can create entirely new issues of their own. But with Next Generation Sync, updates are different. Let's hear more about Ford's big vision for connected vehicles in Europe from Director of Electrification, Uli Küsters. Uli, thank you so much for joining us here in our virtual studio. Where are you calling in from today?
Hi, David. I'm calling in from Dormagen, where we have our product development center in Europe.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time. We were just talking about updates, and I want to ask you about what Ford is doing to deal with some of the problems with updates that sometimes we experience with other devices.
Yeah, David, you framed our challenge really, really well. With the Mach-E and the Next Generation Sync, we're really up for that challenge. Software, gets dated very quickly, but we are, with our new technology, we're providing the industry's most advanced over-the-air update systems. The Mach-E downloads updates in the background. You're in control when that is happening and how that is happening. The key to all this is speed. The updates are taking place in less than 2 minutes, either by Wi-Fi or cellular connection.
Okay, so lots of flexibility. One of the things I've been told about the Mach-E is that perhaps unlike some other electric vehicles, Teslas, for example, the Mach-E system, it retains the previous version of the software, so it can roll back if there's any problem with that version for any reason?
Dave, you're spot on. We are using the first cloud-connected vehicle platform in the industry. It, in fact, keeps the current software running until the version is ready. So the updated version, in case there was any problem with the update, is not going to be used. We can always revert back to the prior level. And that technology is not even available on some of the latest smartphones even.
Tell me about it. So I'm trying to express some of those as customer benefits. How am I, as a driver of a Mach-E, one day maybe, going to benefit from that kind of tech?
Yeah, so first, the customer will always be up to date. Navigation maps, for example, we already heard about that. They're continuously updating over the air. There is always real-time information being used. It gives you traffic and hazard information. It also provides you with up-to-date information where to park and other related information that really helps you in your day-to-day needs. But more than that, Next Generation Sync is also using bumper-to-bumper capability. It's not only providing functionality for your entertainment system, it goes far beyond that. We can even in the future generate all new functionality and capability.
Listen, Uli, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
Thank you, David. Good to talk to you.
So, there you have it. As Uli said, Ford is looking forward to a more connected future where updates take place seamlessly over the air, where we can control and change vehicle settings or plan the charging schedule right from our smartphones, and where our vehicles will always remain right at the cutting edge. Obviously today, in our first Ford Horizon experience, we've only had time to scratch the surface of Next Generation Sync's capabilities. But you will get the opportunity to try it out for yourselves in the Mustang Mach-E in the very near future. Next Generation Sync and Ford Pass together redefine the connected car. From delivering a truly personalized experience before you even pick up the keys, to seamlessly managing your vehicle's charge, whether it's in your driveway or out on the road. Understanding natural voice commands, just like an in-car personal assistant, and continuing to improve your vehicle ownership experience the longer you own it. It demonstrates Ford's commitment to leadership in the connected vehicle space, bringing the very best technology informed by drivers to drivers, and making all of our lives easier in the process. And there's much more to come. We have a live Q&A right after this show, so you can ask your questions directly to Ford experts. Just click the Join Q&A session button in a moment and you'll be automatically taken to your designated session. As a reminder, please, we would ask that everything you've heard today remains under embargo for publication until the 4th of September. But for now, thanks for watching, and be sure to join us for the next Ford Horizon Experience.